Hello again, everyone. This is Joe Henches with Beyond the Chart, and this is stock chart analysis. Today is Tuesday, September 9th, 2014. We're going to take a look at Apple, Facebook, Green Mountain Coffee Roasters, and Twitter. Okay, we're going to start off with Apple. So here it is Tuesday morning on the 9th, and Apple's got their big conference, product announcement, etc. today at noon. Apple is currently trading. It is 9:40 in the morning, so an hour and 10 minutes into the stock market day, the trading day. Apple is up 54 cents. So right now, the last time we looked at Apple was August 26th, right back in here. So we had data on the chart up to here. And I said, I think we are the end of this diagonal, okay? This was like a broadening diagonal triangle. And I talked about how we had this bullish channel. I felt like that this was the completion of minute wave 3, the green wave here, and that we were going to have a fourth wave pullback. And of course, for the first 4 days, people are going, what's he talking about, pullback, et cetera, et cetera. And then all of a sudden, people are like, oh, well, I guess the stock's pulled back. So now we've got this pullback, and the question is, what is the shape of it? What's going to happen? I talked about how I thought we might pull back to the 93 to 95 range, back down in here at the bottom of the channel. Let's take a look at a minute wave 2. Okay, so the little green wave, minute wave 2, was a zigzag like this, and kind of a sharp zigzag, about 50% it looks like. Then we got this very strong, very long wave 3, okay? And so now my expectation is that the fourth wave, which is going to be a corrective wave, is going to be shallow since this one was fairly sharp and deep, and that this most likely will be some type of a flat. It'll be the opposite of what number 2 was, okay? If this is a zigzag, my expectation is that this will be a flat. So what is a flat for those who aren't into Elliott wave nomenclature? A flat is where you come down in a first wave A that's typically 3 waves, and sometimes on daily charts like this it's hard to tell. A lot of times the waves might be in an hourly basis. Then you get a pullback to the beginning of wave A and sometimes slightly beyond it. Then you come back down and you come back to the bottom and to the end of wave A, or you can go slightly beyond it like this. So if I had to lay out an expectation of what I think is going to happen, I wouldn't be surprised to see us get some kind of little rally boost off the announcement today and what they say. And then coming off the rally, we get a little bit of a sell-off. And then, of course, this is, my expectation is that this is a little, wave 4 like this. And that we are then going to go for a fifth wave. And then that will complete. Let me get rid of this for a minute, get back to my mouse. So that'll do. Let me shrink this down. Now we are working minor wave 3. All of this is minor wave 3. And mainly the reason the way it kept breaking down is because these kept overlapping, okay? So my expectation is that after we get that next move to the upside, after this correction in here, boy, pardon my voice here this morning. My sinuses and my throat are just going crazy, so sorry about that. So anyway, that's the best assumption I've got in here right now. That's what I'm looking for on a low wave 4 pullback. We'll see if we get that. Let's move on to Facebook. Now, Facebook's interesting. It's been continuing to push to the high side. And again, the last time we did this was on the 26th. So where was the 26th? Back in here. I think this was the last date I had on the chart at the time. And I had this B was over here. Thought maybe this was the high for B. I'm pushing it over here now. And the main reason is I haven't moved off of my perspective that this does not look like a strong like wave 3. So I'm working off the assumption that this is what primary wave 1, that we've had 5 waves up, and then we're looking for a corrective wave 2, kind of like this, okay, like this little pullback correction. And you notice how this pulled back about 50% of this wave 1 to the upside. Okay. Now, this is pretty shallow in here. I'll have to look to see what is the retracement of this. No, it's not even 38%. Okay, so it's very, very shallow. I don't think it's enough. So, you know, and the other thing is, this is the way a wave 3, I talked about this last time. This is the way a strong wave 3 looks as you start to push to the high side. We're just not getting it off of this move right in here. So that's why I'm skeptical. So right now I'm continuing to watch and looking to see. I've got no position on this. I've got no trade idea put out on this. Right now Facebook's at 77.60, down 29 cents. The high for the day was 78.17, and that was yesterday's high too. So it hasn't taken out yesterday's high. I am looking for this thing to roll over at any moment, and when it does, I think it's going to come down and challenge this trend line. So we'll see. You know, it's just not giving me any other picture for me to get bullish on. Anyway, that's my current perspective on Facebook. Let's take a look at Green Mountain Coffee Roasters. And we're going to look at the weekly chart on this. I haven't looked at this in a while. We had a trade idea on it, and then we got out of it. I think it was sometime in August. So it's been a while. Now here is since 1998, where what I call the low point, 0 point in here. It looks like there's been 1, 2, 3, 4 impulsive wave moves and a 5th impulsive wave move up. Now this is what I believe is a truncated 5th wave. And the reason why I call it a truncated 5th wave is because there are 5 waves in here into this 5th wave, but it barely got past the top of 3. Okay, kind of truncated. Actually, a lot of times it's even shorter than that. So that's what I'm calling 5 waves complete. And if you'll look at the corrections, I will not be surprised at the time frames. If this is truly the end of wave 5, okay, it was 10 months for this very sharp and short correction. It was 22 months for this flat and more complex correction. So we're talking 10 to 22 months. A lot of times a correction, once the entire 5 waves are done, takes longer than the longest of those 2. So I would not be surprised to see Green Mountain Coffee Roasters in some kind of up, down, sideways action for you know, and of course if this wave, when did this stop? In February. So we're talking for, you know, at least maybe another 22 to 24 months from this top of doing choppiness. Now let's look at the daily chart. So here's the top in February. Okay, so here we got 3 waves down. I really thought that this was B right in here, the top of B, and that we're rolling over. So right now I think that it's doing this. I think it's this is all part of a corrective action. I'm looking for this to roll over. But right now, this wave is not showing divergence as compared to right into here. So, you know, we've got to watch it. And, you know, this is just, you know, again, what you do to me, you paint out a scenario as to what you think is the highest probability situation is going on. But you're always looking for what an alternative could be. And then you're looking for the price action to confirm your preferred scenario. I mean, that's all you can do. So right now, I'm watching this. Yes, we got this little gap in here, but Green Mountain has had a tendency to do this kind of little gappiness, you know, right before it, you know, petered out here and then just chopped sideways and pulled back. It's just a gappy type stock. It gaps around a lot of times. I mean, look at the gap right here, the gap right here. So getting the gap doesn't necessarily mean it's a breakout gap and going higher. We've got the gap right here, and then we just chop sideways for several months. So right now, this is the scenario I'm still looking for. We're getting a little bit of pullback, and right now Green Mountain is down 1.23 at 128.11 at 9:50 in the morning. So that's my perspective on Green Mountain Coffee. And then the last one, and I don't have it up, is Twitter. Okay, bear with me a second here. All right, here we go. Okay, so the last time when I talked, again, was the 25th, 26th, and that was right in here, had this data. I actually thought that this point might be wave 5 because we had drawn this channel in here across the bottom of 2 and 4, put a parallel line across the top of 3 and project it out. Well, if you continue to project that line out, let me extend it to the right, it comes very close to this point right up in here too. Now, I thought that this might be 5, but in reality, I mean, if you look at it, looks like 1, it's kind of a sideways 2, strong 3, a pullback 4, and now getting 5th. So I think there might be a higher degree of possibility that this is 5. I had put this dotted line up here for resistance that I was expecting to come in at this point. We seem to be getting a little bit of that. What's Twitter doing this morning? It's down 30 cents at 51.70. So we're right in this price range in here. So we'll have to continue to watch it. We're not seeing a close below the blue line, the 10-day. So it isn't, you know, and honestly, we're not getting divergence on the RSI. We're getting a little bit of divergence on the demand, or on the DI plus. Okay, so that's showing up as a divergence, and we're not getting it on the demand. So we're only getting it on 1 out of 3 of the indicators I watch. I usually like to see it on at least 2, if not all 3. So, I've got to sit back and say, I'm labeling this 5, and I can barely talk this morning. I'm labeling this 5, but I'm cautious because of the way the indicators are showing. What we might be getting is some kind of ending diagonal that I just happened to see just now as I'm looking at this. So if I draw a line up like this in here, and I draw another line across the top of here, it's not quite as pretty. Let me get rid of those other 2 lines and do this a little bit of real time. So, I mean, that is one scenario that we could have some kind of ending diagonal 5th wave that's happening. And again, I'm thinking that because it's broken this trend line and it's breaking out from this low, okay, since it's IPO back here, that this is a wave 1, and that we'll then get a wave 2, and then we'll move to a wave 3. Well, I mean, that's what I'm playing off of right now, or that's the scenario I'm trying to paint, and we'll see if it continues to act to reinforce that, or whether it does something else. So that's my best thoughts on Twitter at the moment. So that's it for Apple, Green Mountain, Facebook, and Twitter. We'll watch the Apple action after the big announcement today, and we'll go from there. So this has been Joe for Beyond the Chart. If you felt like this video was helpful, please share it on social media. And if you're not a subscriber, subscribe. First name and email. And if you're watching this anywhere else but my website, head on over to the website. There's a lot of stuff over there. And as a subscriber, you get access to the Trade Ideas webpage. Have a great Tuesday, Wednesday, everyone. I'll be back with market action tomorrow night.